So there are three parts to declaring and assigning a variable in Java. The first part is that you have to actually declare the data type that you're going to store in that variable. And after that point, it cannot store any type but that specific type. The second part of declaring and assigning a variable is just the name, just as per usual. And then on the right side of that equal sign, the assignment operator is going to be the value stored there. But it is a little different in that it has to be a static type. Once you've also declared it, you do not have to declare the type again. So you really only declare it once when you're first initializing that variable. It might be a little hard to get used to at first, but you'll get in the hang of actually declaring a type each time. You'll also find that it might be a little frustrating because you always have to stick to that same type. But this will make for some really good assertive programming, which means that you can always be guaranteed that the type that you declared it as is the type that will come out of it. So for naming your variables, make sure you use camel case. So that means it should start with a lowercase letter and every word in it should be an uppercase letter. So you can see here, we actually have a lot of different data types, but you should be pretty familiar with them so far. We have int. Long is actually just a long integer. We have Boolean values, true, false. We have doubles, which are decimals, and we have chars, which are just letters or characters. So object types that are built into Java, some of them are wrapper classes, which means they just add extra functionality to those primitive types. So let's take a look at one of those object types that's a wrapper around one of these primitive types. I'm going to look at double with a capital D. So if we go to the documentation at Oracle, we see that the class double is actually a part of the java.lang library, which is part of the JDK. So if we take a stroll down the documentation, we can see, for example, that we have something like int value, which it looks like returns the value of the double and returns it as an int. So you wouldn't be able to do this with a lowercase d double with the primitive type, but you can do it if the type is a uppercase d double.